few other ones like that as well. But it's a big help. Like, you could hear you all over the pitch. Like,
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I think all was good with it.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Very well, boys.
Well done.
All right, lads, my session was on build-up, and the first night, the first part of the session was basically 3 different areas, kind of a directional, well, it wasn't on the pose rondo, but my explanation of it ran way too long. It was nearly 2.5, nearly 3 minutes. And even at that, when we got onto the pitch, I was kind of resetting lads as well, which was a big kind of, no, I wasted too much time on it. Probably I didn't explain it clear. Maybe it was a bit of nerves and stuff like that. That opposed to the second part of the actual session, which was the build-up side of it, leading from the goalkeeper. The explanation was 45 seconds, and because I had stuff wrote down that was literally able to point out to the lads, get a clearer message, and basically it was a lot swifter. We got on the ball rolling was on after a minute and 5 seconds, you know, which was a good improvement. The thing about being recorded and having your sound as well, I found I was very, very vocal the first night, possibly a bit as well, but again, that I think comes down to the first night. I probably didn't need to be as vocal. It was more encouragement more than anything else. The second night, my pitch position on the side of the pitch, it was the full width of the pitch, so it was hard to get a message across the other side of the pitch. There was a couple of mistakes made over that side, and I went over to change my position after a break in play, after giving a kind of a demo, which was better than the night before because it was a ball rolling demo, which is something I missed out on the first night. I was kind of more pointing than and explaining rather than actually showing. So that was a kind of a critique on the first night from Ross, and I could see it back as well when I rewatched the video and clipped a few pieces off it. So I kind of made a point that was one of the things I was going to do. I don't like intervening if I can help it. I'd rather let it run, but obviously there was a couple of occasions. I think there was 3 mistakes made from the right centre back on that night where he stepped in instead of actually being a bit more calm and using better decision making. And I probably should have went in after the second time, but I went in after the third time, changed my position, and we got a bit more joy from then, and it kind of went a bit better. The debrief was a lot quicker than the first night as well, and it was good interaction, probably more so than the first night. But at the same time, then we had time within the kind of 20-minute section there for a bit of peer review as well from yourselves. So really, really good learning curve, recording and listening to yourself and saying in the back of your mind, would you ever shut up sometimes? You know, you just kind of overdo it. And I think we're all guilty of that. It's all meant in the best possible ways, but I think could be deemed as overcoaching sometimes, and probably drowning out something that you could actually pause and just say, maybe I have a clearer point to make. So that was my kind of take on the session. I'd love to hear your views on it as well, lads.
I thought your first session, because myself and Kyle didn't have to put on, we were able to watch kind of a bit more. Yeah. I thought your first session, you were very nervous going into it. You could see it, yeah. As opposed to the following day down in CK, you were way more relaxed, and I think it ran a lot better. It definitely ran a lot better. It looked smoother and looked to be that bit more confident on it, like, which.
Yeah, there's still nerves there, and look, the day you can't try and improve in some shape or form, like this is why we're all doing this as well, you know, regardless of the outcome at the end of it. But the experiences of it, I think, we don't take that on board and actually have a look and laugh sometimes, but cringe as well at other times and say, Jesus, what were you doing? You really sound like that, you know? So, yeah, I would have thought the very same thing. I was really too vocal the first night. You know, maybe over anxious.
But you learned from that, though, and you got straight into the coaching on the second night, and you seemed a lot more confident when you started coaching.
Yeah, no, I actually enjoyed it. I realised that I was in a bad position. You know, on the other side, I could see that a lot of the play was going out the opposite side of the pitch, and it was kind of one of those things. There was a mistake I made on the second night, and we did concede a goal from the build up, and I kind of retorted to one of the lads, look lads, head up, that will happen, maybe something that you could say to a player that's lacking confidence, but instead of actually probably saying, look, how did this happen, can we avoid it, so just another point.
I think that was good though, that on the second night we all progressed, so we obviously looked back a lot on the first night, and I suppose that was the point of it as well, that everyone felt the second night was better.
Yeah, I think it's the thought of the unknown when you're going up the first night, what's going to happen. The second night I think we're a bit more at ease. We knew what was ahead of us.
Yeah,
okay, you still be nervous, but you're a bit more at ease.
Yeah,
I think also the second night, Ross kind of, when he had a chat at the start, kind of said that, look, he's not here to criticize anyone, that if you don't coach the way you normally coach, he can't help us out from it. And I think it took the pressure off everyone the second night.
Yeah, it was a bit more relaxed. Yeah, it was a bit more relaxed. Bar the rain, but it was a bit more relaxed. Yeah.
I think, Gary, just going back to what Brian said there about the first night, with the nerves and stuff like that. The first night you worked on the team that you're actually working with at the moment. So I think subconsciously that adds a tiny little bit of pressure. I know you work with them fucking 2-3 days a week, but subconsciously might add a little bit of pressure. You're walking into it thinking, oh, I coach these that 2-3 times a week, it's going to be grand. But then once you actually get into it, you're like, oh shit, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do the next thing, I need to make sure Ross is okay with this, I need to make sure players are understanding. It does message you a little bit that way, do you know what I mean? So I think subconsciously that might have affected you at the start of it. Now, obviously you grow into the session afterwards, after a few minutes. But I think on the flip side of that, the comfortability came into it as well, when you're talking about your intro and your orientation, that the ball didn't get rolling until whatever it was, 2 to 3 minutes in.
Yeah.
I think because you're so used to the lads, and that might be a thing that happens every now and again, that you're explaining something, you're on the board, or you're giving.
Well, you're probably conscious of players, of certain players that need a bit more of an explanation than maybe some of the others. That shouldn't come into it, but it's always in the back of your head, all right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Also, Gary, you spoke about talking more, but you have to remember on the first night, like a lot of us, we all done a technical session where you're going to have to talk a lot more, and you're nearly explaining a lot more as the drill goes on. Yeah. Whereas when you've done your tactical session, second night, it flowed a lot more, and you were actually that bit more comfortable because the players just knew exactly what to do. It was more of a shape that they're probably used to. That makes a huge difference. Like I got caught with the technical session the first night and talking more than I should have been. But on your second night, you're probably a little bit more comfortable then as well when it's a proper tactical session.
Yes, that makes sense as well. Yeah. Thanks, lads.
Good stuff, Gary.
Right. I'll just share my screen with you if I can. So can you see that?